welcome to another episode of Tea and Tales. Today we're going to speak about one of the most controversial subjects on the internet at the moment, pet food and what to feed your pet, and the effect that it has on internal medicine and the overall health of your pet, depending on what you feed them. So I'm here today with Dr. Ivan, internal medicine vet, and he is going to discuss with us his opinions and his beliefs on nutrition and the role it plays in your pet's sexual health. Welcome, Dr. Ivan.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
So before we get into the nutrition part, can you explain what an internal medicine vet does and what is internal medicine for people who don't know?
So it's mainly internal abdominal organs and issues with them. So I deal with mainly gastroenterology. So majority of our cases are like chronic gastrointestinal issues with digestion and things. And coming across those cases, the most talk that I do about is actually trying to correct the myths and the misconceptions about the diet.
Because nutrition is one of those things people have strong beliefs in, I think. They come to you already kind of with their mindset one way or the other. Whatever they're feeding the pet, it's something that evokes a very strong belief out of people. So how often is nutrition directly or indirectly involved in the kind of cases that you see?
Almost constantly. So nutrition is such an important part of taking care of your pet, and it's involved in so many medical conditions, and almost majority of any medical condition outside internal medicine is actually treated by the diet. So it's a super important part, and a lot of gastroenterology cases are actually caused by the wrong diets and wrong habits about it.
Okay, so what are the most common things you would see in the clinic, like the top 3 issues that you see that really relate back to diet?
So it's, again, chronic diarrhea and vomiting, which is chronic enteropathies with both dogs and cats. Skin issues that are allergy related, many times food and protein related. And then we have a lot of endocrinology cases that are also very important to be kept on the strict diet.
Okay, let's dive straight into it then with a little myth to start with, like myth buster, let's call it. So you can say true or false.
Yeah.
These are common misbeliefs that people, or not even misbeliefs, maybe they're true, people have. So grain-free is always healthier.
No, it's almost never healthier. Only reason for anyone, us or our pets, to be on the grain-free diet is if you are diagnosed with grain intolerance, which in our profession is super rare. Let's say that in the last 10 years I have one confirmed case, and that's the only case that I suspected that it can be grain intolerant. It is a breed that is pretty much predisposed to grain intolerant reactions.
Which breed is it?
It's a border terrier.
Ah, okay.
And and then there is specific tests that you send to outside laboratory. That time it was in Laboclean in Germany, and then if you have confirmation of gluten intolerance, grain intolerance, that's the only indication for you to put pet on the grain-free diet.
And raw diets are more natural, so they would automatically be better.
Nope. The main marketing advertisement from those production lines or people behind it is that it's a natural way because their ancestors ate the same. And if you look to the common Shih Tzu or any other dog, they truly don't have anything in common with their ancestors as much as we don't. And it will be the same as you say that let's we eat the same thing like our ancestors, like scraps or bones or cartilage or raw hide or something, or berries. We just cannot. Evolution did its part, and they cannot eat the same things like wolves.
Well said. Homemade diets are healthier because you control the ingredients.
No, you cannot control ingredients. You cannot control at least the nutrients that are needed on the daily level. So maybe the closest to perfection, but still far from being perfect diet, would be that you hire and pay some truly renowned nutritional specialist anywhere, and then you give all the answers they need about their pet, your pet, and then they make perfect recipe for your dog, like organic lamb, brown rice, broccoli, carrots, but on top of that, a lot of supplements in the powders for microminerals, elements, and vitamins. And that in strictly arranged doses, like 120 grams of this, and you cook it, of course, and boil it home, maybe will be closest to perfection, but it is pretty expensive and time-consuming because you need to make it fresh every day. It still does stuck to the teeth more than, let's say, dry kibble food. So, you cannot do by yourself the best diet for your dog.
And I would get into it more, but it's so important that you said how did you word it, like a certified nutritionist? Because I think on the internet now, there's like, I don't know, you pay like $10
Yeah.
and you're a nutritionist.
This will cost you much more,
Yeah.
and of course you need to have some board certificate person
It's
that
a veterinarian who's
who
specialized.
went through specialization to be
It's a good
that.
distinguishment to make. If my pet looks healthy, the diet must be fine.
Again, not that easy, not that simple, but basically no. Just yesterday I have the case of severe malnutrition. Dog is super emaciated with chronic enteropathy, suffering for months, being weak and lethargic. And I just noticed with the client, with the owner, that surprisingly how his coat is looking well, considering how malnutrient he is. So yeah, a good shiny coat is an important thing, but it still doesn't mean that there is a full balanced meal behind it, maybe for the sake of coat and those omega acids and things, but not necessarily for the rest of it.
Yeah, so like you said, with the raw food, a lot of people think that the dog is doing really well on the raw food because their coat is shinier.
Yeah, again, nothing is that simple. I know a couple of examples where dogs did better on the raw food than on particular dry kibble food, but it still doesn't mean much. These are exceptions, and yeah, they can look better in many ways, but on the long term, it's still not the best balanced diet for so many reasons.
And external better doesn't always mean internal better.
And definitely.
So out of all these myths that we've discussed, which of these would you say causes the most medical harm in real life, these beliefs?
Raw diet, because it's there is no actually pros about that diet. Once we do our clinical trial studies trying to scientifically back up our opinion, we come up with discussing doing that about the raw food, that there is literally not one single plus about it. It is very hard to digest. It is super easily contaminated. So those production lines, they are very unbased technologically with a lot of hygiene measurements behind it. So it is very hard to medicate, to treat your dog medical condition with the raw food, or not possible. So it also does stuck a lot to the teeth, adding dental problems. So literally there is not a single plus behind it.
Not a single benefit.
No.
I liked what you said about the homemade food diets, because I also think that's very misleading to people. Like they will see like these videos on the internet and it looks, the dog looks well on it, and it's these simple videos people can make at home. So a lot of people would feel like, if I'm making it, I can see it's fresh food, it must be good. And it's not that it's not good, I guess, but it's just like you said, you're pretty much never making sure that it's 100% getting all of the supplements that you need, especially if you're getting a recipe from the internet that has no reference to your dog, to your weight, to the dog's breed.
For sure. So on the long term, you are definitely giving certain things in the too much of the consumption level, and certain things you are decreasing your pet nutrition needs. So you cannot just do that back home.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gotten a bit into it, but what's the most common misconception or challenge you encounter when you're doing internal medicine consultations?
Again, going from nutrition point of view and gastroenterology, I'm trying to clarify and to break down these myths that we mentioned. But most commonly, what is still striking me every day happening, that people are coming with the very young pets, dogs, puppies, and they are feeding them 2 times daily. So that's a pretty shocking and pretty serious problem, because they need to eat much more frequently. And those advices are given by the breeders or even some vets, or definitely general public. So
a lot of people get their advice from breeders, and it's like, please stop listening.
So they have 3 months puppy, and they said feed him 2 times. Like 2 meals are like just over 1 year age, so not before that.
Okay, so at 1 year's age, you can start doing the two meals a day. And what's the kind of lead up to that before? Or it really depends on the
3
dog?
months, which is the usual age when we take our pets, our dogs, should be 6 meals.
6 meals a day.
Then every couple of months, every 2 to 3 months, you go 1 meal down until you reach 1 year of life. Again, depends on the size of the breed and size and everything else, but this is just standardized. And then from that moment, you go 2 meals daily. But again, the common problem mistake that owners, not by their fault, doing is big span between meals. If you have 2 meals and you give one in 8 p.m. and one in 8 a.m., it's too much, especially if the breed is small. We many times have complained that pet is vomiting early morning before morning breakfast, because many times it turns out to be acid reflux because they were fed last time like 14 hours ago.
And this is when they're vomiting this kind of yellow liquid usually.
Can be foamy, can be yellowy, depending on
And it's
the
because
case.
they've been fasting for too long.
Many times it's main reason. And when we correct that, which the main instruction is, you need to give the late evening, as late as possible, and early morning meal. But then you have a big gap from the morning to the evening. So basically, I never recommend 2 meals. This is the best recommendation. So as late as possible, not too late, of course, and early morning meal. And then in the middle of the day, somewhere around our lunch time, you can give one smaller meal. This will be the
Smaller than usual.
Smaller than usual. This will be the best meal frequency for any dog.
And you know what I've seen increasingly? People who are trying to get their pets to lose weight. I'm not sure where it comes from or what the idea is or what your idea is of it. They go down to 1 meal a day.
No,
Yeah,
that's wrong.
I don't know where they come from. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'm trying to make a diet, so we're just doing one big meal, or I don't know where.
I heard that a lot of times, and it's wrong, because you are giving them everything in one meal. You are overfeeding them. You are making that stomach very much distended. Again, poor digestion, poor nutrient absorption. Very important thing also. There is a lot of things that we can try to clarify, but dog needs to eat after the walk. So many times we have serious problem with the stomach torsion and volvulus, fatal sometimes conditions, that many times pets are getting fed, especially deep-chested dog, and they went outside running, jumping, rolling, and coming with a serious medical issue.
Yeah.
So dog needs to deserve, also coming to the picky eater, which is also common complaint that we have. The pets, mainly dogs, are picky with their food because we are not approaching them in the right way with their food and meals. So dog needs to deserve the meal.
Let's go back one step then to what you said about feeding them and then walking them. So in your mind, how do we need to do this? It's like 1 hour before, or we need to first feed them?
The meal needs to be one of the most, if not the most important part of dog's day. So he needs to urge for that food and he needs to deserve that food subconsciously. So dog, as they still have some instincts like their ancestors, so he needs to use his body and brain, which means going outside for a walk where you try to stimulate their body and brain, and then they come back home, and then the food is there. Not maybe necessarily immediately, but 10, 15 minutes later, that food is coming down. It's not always there on the floor. It's coming down like a prize or their prey that they actually hunted by involving all their body and mind.
Ah, okay. So this is where you're tying into the picky eaters.
Yep.
Because the food is left. A lot of people, especially the small little dogs, the food is there all day, and they kind of come and go, and then...
There is nothing interesting and appealing in the food that is always there.
Yeah.
They need to urge for it. So food goes down, 20 minutes later, they don't want it, food is going away, next time for next meal, it's coming there.
It blows my mind, it's a bit harsh, but I see a lot of clients as well, and I'm like, how did you end up in this situation? And they're like, kind of, he'll only eat now if I feed him with the spoon, or he'll only eat. They have like a lot of rules, and I'm like, you've kind of obviously brought that in. I don't think the dog's asked for any of this, but it's like somehow you've kind of conditioned your dog to only eat in these very inconvenient ways as well for yourself as well.
Dogs are very tricky. They will check their boundaries, and if they can go beyond them, they will do that. So if your dog say, I don't like this food anymore, I'm starving now, and you give them the next food, that's just positive feedback, I can do this. So
Yeah.
I will do it next time,
I'll
I will
get
do
my
it
way.
next time, and then you're in one vicious cycle, which you don't know what else to give to your dog because he's refusing everything. Things should be simplified. They are animals, they function on a very simple level, and we should not be indulging them with the treats and diets and table scraps, thinking that we are doing good, because mainly we are not. We are just making things worse.
People get worried with the picky dogs, small dogs, 2-3 days go and they're not eating, and then they kind of cave. Have you seen in your experience at some point these dogs are just really picky, he's not going to eat? Or do you see at some point like you just have to keep with the routine, 2-3 days, give it a bit of time, it works? Or is there cases where you're like, okay, he's just not going to eat, maybe we need to change something? Or
They can be super stubborn, more stubborn than us, and it can be a challenge. We just need to mention that many times behind picky eating is a medical condition. So many times we have these chronic enteropathies that can be waxing and waning, very subtle and not easy to pick up. But a lot of times I know and I sense that behind this can be a medical condition, which again comes under big folder of chronic enteropathy. So many times we need actually to do diagnostic workup to find out something like that and to start correcting that. Once we start correcting that, then many times appetite gets better.
yeah, it's like with anything. First, rule out the medical side, then we'll go to behavioral, and that they're just being kind of assholes to you, whatever. But first, rule out the medical side.
Yeah.
Always.
And it's not easy transition. There is a struggle there. They can be super stubborn, and we cannot start them for 3 to 5 days. But also important thing, treats, dog treats are super caloric bombs. And when the pet is not eating, we tend to give them treats because they like treats and they eat treat. And that super caloric dense treats are actually, again, allowing them to refuse food even longer.
Yeah.
So
Or
things-
people are kind of like, oh no, I didn't give them anything, but someone in the house is somewhere giving them a little, and you think to us it's like a little piece of cheese I gave them, but I'm like, that's their calories
enough.
done for the day with a small little dog.
He's
Yeah.
fine with it for a couple of hours saying still no to the food. So
Yeah.
things should be simplified that way.
Okay, so this is an interesting question. Where do you believe that a lot of these misconceptions originate?
General public,
Yeah.
people thinking they have experience because many times I heard that, but I have dogs, I have 20 dogs in my life and I
And they
did
were
this,
always fine.
and they're always fine. And then we say, yeah, but we have millions of dogs on daily level and we are a scientific based profession and we do clinical trials that involves hundreds of dogs. So you cannot fight against that. I mean, you are trying, but you just don't know what you're saying. So yeah, people trusting more to breeders,
Yeah,
to
like
friends.
you said, the breeders. And then a big one these days is these like online kind of pet wellness gurus or like nutritionists, but it's in the end it's not vets. A lot of these people, obviously some of them are vets, but a lot of them are just gotten a degree online and they paid for it or whatever it is, like €5 and it's nothing.
Yeah. I believe also there is a bit of that people orientation towards theory of conspiracy, that there is always something behind big companies and nutrition. There is always someone trying to trick us, and then we like to believe the person in front of me, which is also the vet is the person in front of you, but not only the friend in the dog park. So yeah, people I think also have this conspiracy
kind of sad
theory.
actually. People are kind of turning on. I don't know if you've noticed, but like vets online, their opinions on nutrition and so on. Like people are quite like they're just brought off by these dog food companies, and there is a lot of mistrust in that.
As a profession, we are using for 30 plus years 3 high premium brands, which are Hills, Royal Canin, and Pro Plum Purina, and we are using it because we have a positive feedback for 30 plus years, and these companies have very advanced technology of medicated diets. We are saving our clients, owners, pets' life with those diets, and we don't have anything to do with them. I'm not getting paid by them. I'm usually using a lot of medicated diets. We speak mainly about medicated diets, and it's just because we know what to expect from them, and they give results, and we have feedback for 30 plus years.
And they're one of the few that have their own trials as well, right?
Yeah. They
like
have,
a lot of dog food companies wouldn't have any trials kind of behind them, but these are the big 3 that have put a lot of money into
a lot of money, a lot of studies, trials,
Yeah.
clinical trials. Again, everything comes to the scientific-based opinion when we speak about these things.
All right. And have you seen a lot of the time people's misconceptions delaying treatment?
Of course.
Even after you've explained so on, like this is actually the way we need to treat it, but people have this very ingrained belief of whatever they've heard online and they've heard from the breeder, and it delays treatment to the point of like fatalities, or how have you seen that play out?
It can happen, not often going that far, because sooner or later they come to their senses. But the most common, again, misconception about when you speak about diets and nutrition, and if we speak treating medical diets, that people, and it's not their fault. I believe it's more of our fault, not explaining well enough, presuming that common sense will be understandable from their side as well. So when we put the pet on the specific diet, medicated diet, for that diet to do the job that we're expecting it to do, the pet needs to eat exclusively nothing else but that diet. So many times I came across the cases, the pet is on hypoallergenic food because of diagnosed, confirmed allergies, skin-related allergies, mainly food-related. But on the side, they are giving a bit of cheese, bit of chicken, all other kind of source, because no one explained them that actually food is not medication. It's not treating the condition. It is diet fully balanced with nutrients that is giving everything your pet needs, while in the same time not provoking the allergies. So it needs to eat only that food, drink water, and the safest and best treats worldwide for any sick or healthy dog are cucumbers, apples, carrots, blueberries, safe fruits and veggies. So they presume that food is there, food is doing their job, but I can still do whatever I like over it. That's super everyday
Yeah,
situation.
it's not expensive. Well, they're a little pricey, these hypoallergenic diets, and it's like you're putting this time and effort you're this close to doing it, but it's just like if you add on top of it the rest, you may as well forget the whole
you're
thing.
just wasting money on that. And not only hypergenic food, any renal diets, gastrointestinal diets, any diet. If there is medicated diet, it means simple as that. That food, water, and fruits and veggies, and that's it.
Wow. Okay. So that's probably one of them. But what are the most common nutrition mistakes you see in practice?
Nutrition mistake, but we tend to indulge our pets, which is normal thing that humans are doing because it all comes to anthropomorphism, to give a lot of our table scraps to the dogs. So
I am guilty of this.
Yeah, it's not easy to do and to understand that actually giving more different things, different kind of proteins, fat content, spices, for example, are potentially causing a lot of problems that we are dealing again on everyday level. So things should be simplified with our dogs. We indulge them with the time, love, play, not that much with the food because we should simplify. They are different than us.
Something you actually said that I would like your opinion on. We're talking about the food. What's your opinion on kibble? We give the usual kibble, the prescription kibble or anything, and these toppers. So the toppers being like berries, cucumbers, just to add some fresh food to it. What's your opinion on people who do
That's
this?
perfect. As long as there's the fruits and veggies, again, if we need to simplify diets, everything comes to the proteins. To simplify it, oversimplify it, but it's like that in some way. So if you add fruits and veggies, which I'm always suggesting as a lot of dogs like some of those things.
Yeah, mine would love it, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing thing. They don't need literally nothing else.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on the right path then.
Yeah.
Cucumbers every day. So when does diet become part of the treatment plan rather than supportive care, as you said before?
From supportive care, we just need to again know what are the meals, how many of them they should have during the day, how regularly they need to be scheduled over 24 hours as much as possible, and to stick with one preferable diet. We always suggest one of these mentioned three, even if it's commercial diets, and to have the same protein treat. So if you want to treat your dog that is healthy otherwise, you choose always the same treat that have the same protein that is in your main diet. Mm-hmm. So majority of diets are made with single protein. Many times it's chicken. So you choose the chicken protein, single protein in your treats, and you always stick to the same diet, same brand, same diet, same treats.
And so if your dog is on, let's say, Royal Canin, which is chicken, you could be giving technically chicken table scraps?
Yes, you can.
Okay, that would be okay with everyone. Okay.
If there is lean, no fat, no spices, you can do that because, again, it comes to the same protein.
Okay.
You can then start giving him positive feedback that they can go more for this food. So there is a trap there as well. So you shouldn't be overdoing it and sending the message, you can now eat chicken because it's a protein.
That happens a lot. Like then now I don't like my other food.
We have a lot of pets eating only chicken. So they come, a lot of problems, and then what's eating? Oh, he's eating boiled breast chicken and that's it. Like for how long? For years. That's only protein, like literally.
Yeah, that's a very common diet. People like a little bit of rice, a little broccoli, but maybe not even that, just chicken. Yeah,
chicken. Like he likes that. He doesn't want anything else, and it's proteins. That's so bad.
Yeah, you're so right. They have to be so careful with giving too nice of food because unless you're committed to, as you said, doing the whole balanced food, but otherwise your pet will very easily be like, well, this is much nicer. I don't want. Okay, so let's get a little bit about diets on the market, misconceptions. What types of diets are most commonly used today?
From our perspective or from perspective of clients? No, we have thousands of brands now, and every once in a while people are asking me, okay, so what do you think about this brand? And they speak about some brand that we never heard about. So
no, let's say more like we have dry food, wet food.
Okay. Dry food and wet food are equally good, again, as they come from the trusted production line. Dry food is better because it does stuck less to the teeth, as we have a lot of dental problems with our pets, as we are not easily brushing their teeth. It tend to be a bit harder to digest compared with the wet food. So if we have some motility problems, then wet food is far more easily digested and passing through the gastrointestinal system than the dry food.
A good distinguishment to make now as well. Dogs and cats. Is there one that will do better on either?
Yeah. If you speak about cats, best for the healthy cat, the best scenario would be constantly dry food. That, unlike dogs, it should be ad libitum, which means the kibbles, the dry food for cats should be always there in the food because they like to nibble from time to time. That's, again, their habit and their behavioral patterns. And wet food should come every other day as a special treat. So, and that food goes down, she eats it or not, he or she, and the food goes away because again, it's easily contaminated food that also can attract a lot of insects and things. So yeah, basically for cat, the best scenario would be always dry food there and wet food every other day. There is again common point there that the cats are not drinking much water, which is true. Yeah. We would all like them to drink more water, but and then giving them wet food, you're actually giving them water in that food. But the more wet food you are giving to your pet, to your cat, she's drinking less because she is again satisfying all her needs in that food. And giving her dry food will actually make your cat drinking more. So yeah, but
kind of a balance.
Balance, but both of that, and very important from if we speak now about food, water and cats, you should find what your cats like. My cat liked to drink from my cups. Staying on the counter or somewhere, then I kept 7 cups around the house.
Is it just for them?
And she was just going there and drinking because she likes sharing my cups.
What is that with cats? They're very picky about the water. Some need it running, some need the fountain. Where does that come from?
I think that's evolutionary instinct as well. So one of the common mistakes that cat owners are doing is keeping the feeding bowl and the water bowl too close to each other. Cats still have very strong predator instincts, unlike dogs. And they will still refuse to drink water close to the food. Why? Evolutionary, when we go back to the past, if they catch the prey and they devour the prey close to the water source, they know that instinctively that water will be contaminated and they will not drink from that water.
So much smarter than dogs.
Yeah,
they are different. Cross their minds.
They are different. So we need to spread. Food needs to be at least half meter, if not more, separated from the water for cats. And then they like running water because, again, they still know that it's fresh, it's running, it's not contaminated, it's safe.
But like you said, kind of find out what your cat's one is and then encourage
that. Just encourage that as much as you can.
This is an interesting one, but terms like natural and holistic are very trending now when you're talking about food. What's your opinion on how much weight these kind of natural or holistic foods have?
Again, these are all modern trends that came to the worldwide market a couple of years ago, same time like with the grain-free and the raw food. There is nothing holistic about it. Holistic approach means that you are putting all the small pieces of one science, let's say nutritional science, together and bringing it there. But and also natural. It's very hard to say what is natural and how you are actually giving them in that food the natural part of it. There is no perfect diet. The closest to perfection and the best diets are, again, these brands with the dry kibble food. They are a bit processed, but not as way we think as our food is processed, because we do fry our food, chips, fries, whatever. There is a lot of fat, saturated fat contamination. We don't have that. These foods are not processed like that. These foods are prepared in the high temperature ovens, drying them out, so there is nothing like saturated fat or anything toxic there. So the best thing that you do for your pet is following these couple of best brands in the world, giving them dry food. It's not a perfect, but it's super balanced diet. It's trusted diets that we have, again, feedback for 30 years. We know what to expect from them. They are easily digested. You can treat your dog. Your dog or cat, sooner or later, unfortunately, will have some certain medical issue. Majority of those medical issues needs to be treated by the certain diet. If your pet is used to eating these kinds of diet, even if they're commercial, then transition to the diet that potentially can save their life will be far more easier for everyone.
That's another good point, actually, yeah. Are food-related medical issues becoming more common in your eyes?
Yes, more and more, especially because of these trends. Let's just go back to the grain-free. So when the grain-free came to the market 8 years ago, our society, our profession was like, why? And I have anecdotes.
It came to the human market, I think.
Yeah, I have anecdotes speaking with my clients, explaining them in a funny way. So I'm pretty much sure that there is one smart guy in corporate business having pets, knowing that we like to do for them what we are doing for ourselves. Yeah. They're a modern trend grain-free because we are getting more and more grain intolerant. And he just one day on the meeting saying, how can we earn more money? Said, I have an idea. We can give them grain-free diet for their pets. We don't know what does it mean, but they will get hooked. And people get hooked. And then we said, okay, let's see. Now we need time to see what does this mean. And then worldwide, we start noticing that we have a lot of breeds, dog breeds that are not predisposed to certain heart condition called dilated cardiomyopathy.
What are those breeds for people?
So the predisposed breeds are large breeds, from Dobermans to Great Danes, all super large breed dogs. But we start noticing, especially Cocker Spaniels and Staffies, Pit Bulls and Staffies worldwide, and I have a lot of them before coming back to Dubai in Sweden, that are coming and they all have dilated cardiomyopathy. And taking the history and signalment behind it, all of those pets were fed strictly grain-free diet for a long time. We then said, okay, not surprising. We were expecting that something will come out of it. Then we make, again, huge clinical trials to try to find out. And we are pretty close to have a perfect connection and like study scientific-based proof that these diets, so why we are using grain? We are using grain because it's affordable source of very important nutrients to our pets. And it's affordable, it's everywhere.
It's labeled often as a filler food.
It's not. It's giving super series to all of us, super series nutrients that we need. In case of our pets, dogs, we realize that those diets are deprived from two amino acids. They are not essential amino acids. They are amino acids called L-carnitine and taurine. And then we start making connection, and we came up this close to scientifically prove it, but we are still pretty sure about it, that depriving pet on the long term of these amino acids is actually affecting the heart because they are essential for the heart. Saying that, as we start spreading this news, because we are overwhelmed with the cases of this heart problem for no reason than the diet related, then lately we are noticing that now there are still grain-free diets that they picked up. Oops, like we did mistake, now veterinary science is speaking about it. Let's still continue with the same useless philosophy of grain-free, but now let's supplement taurine and L-carnitine in food. So now you come across the grain-free diets that they are now hearing this from us instead of first asking us, adding now supplements like taurine and L-carnitine to now balance back this very serious medical issue that they should be responsible for, but they are not.
Wow. Interesting question on the grain-free. Cats and dogs. Am I correct in understanding that it's far more serious for dogs?
Far more serious for dogs. Cats previously, the diets in 80s and 90s were lacking also the same taurine for cats, and that was also causing certain heart condition with cats, but it's clarified now. Cats are more carnivores than dogs, and they can deal better with more proteins in their food, but they still need other things in their diet because the body needs other things than proteins.
Not a one person. And then there's another belief, you can clarify if it's true or not. Dogs can do relatively well, which way is it, on cat food, but cats cannot do well on dog food, or which way is it, or it doesn't make a difference?
Doesn't make a difference. I know a lot of pets, patients that have both, owners have both dogs and cats, and that dogs like eating. Mainly I'm hearing that dogs like eating cat food, not other way around. And if on the short term, again, most likely nothing wrong if there is no wrong protein source for that particular dog, but on the long term, again, that's totally different nutrients
specified for that pet. I think we already went into quite practical things for people to do at home, but let's sum it up a little bit. How many meals a day are ideal, and is free feeding ever appropriate? No, you've definitely gotten into those already. Free feeding,
free feeding
given
only
your
for cats,
strong opinion on.
Definitely not for dogs. They need to deserve their food, meals, a lot of meals, frequent meals when they are younger. As they are growing, we are coming to 2 or 2.5 meals with that one in the middle of the day.
Oh, this is a great question because I hear this a lot. Should we rotate the diet? A lot of people are like, and I'm actually not sure what the correct answer is, so I'd love your opinion on this. To keep feeding the same food, the same brand of food, or the same, they say like it's a good idea to rotate so the gut bacteria is not like overly exposed. I don't know what the belief is here.
Again, that's that anthropomorphism that we spoke about. We cannot perceive that someone, even if it's our pet dog or cat, eats the same food every day, single day for 15 years of our life. But that's actually how they are built. So their digestion system is totally different than ours. Their gut bacteria are getting consolidated based on what they're eating. Any disturbance in that, and the more severe disturbance is in terms of getting something that they never eat, especially in terms of proteins, fats, and let's say spices, will actually disturb that relationship and will cause diarrhea and vomiting. So whenever you change drastically something that your pet eats, it's almost not mandatory, but it's so common to see them back in the clinic saying, oh yeah, they're vomiting, they're having diarrhea, and then knowing what it can be about when I go back to the history. Yeah, it started 3 days ago when I gave this new treat, that new treat, or yeah, we have a barbecue, so they ate a bit of barbecue chicken or something, and sometimes that can trigger much more serious condition like acute pancreatitis or something like that. So that does sound strange, but they should always eat the same thing.
Okay. You've mentioned it before, there is no perfect diet, but as close as people can get, what are the key factors they should look for?
From our perspective as a profession, we always suggest dry kibble food or wet from the same brands that we are mentioning before, and keeping strict with that with safe fruits and veggies as the treats. If you want to do something else, if you have time and you have financial resources, you can get in contact with some board certificate nutritional specialist and do what they give you to.
But I like what you said, that you need to be aware of it's obviously going to be more expensive.
More expensive.
Fair enough. No problem. A lot of people are fine to pay it, but it's like once you transition to that, you're going to have a very hard time to transition back.
Yeah.
So are you committed for the next 10 years? You're going to be doing this?
Yeah. So again, your pet, unfortunately, most likely at certain point of time will need medicated diet as the cornerstone foundation of their treatment, whatever it is. Is it diabetes, renal problems, hepatic liver problems, whatever, and there are so many of them. We based our treatments beside medications on the diets, and that is game changer actually. And to transit again from the food that is super texture tasty to something that is truly not that one, it will be many times impossible. So then we all have a problem. So best thing, not perfect, is the dry kibble or wet food from the renowned manufacturers, and simplifying it in terms of diet, not changing it, having fruits and veggies as treats, and again, indulging your pet with the time and love, not with the food.
Such a nice sum up. Is there anything else you want to tell people, or that was such a nice sum up for everything? Or
On the end, I would like again just to say something that is again common sense, but we are here, our profession is here truly to help them. We devoted our lives to their pets, their animals, and we are there knowing what we are doing, and we stand in front of that, and they should pay a bit more attention to that with the best possible, again, attention from our side. It's not about money. It's not about having contracts or deals with these companies. It's us being there every day and doing our best and knowing what is best for your pet, not general public.
It's like I've seen this play out so many different ways, and it's like I really see what works, what doesn't work, and what causes issues.
Yeah.
Dr. Ivan, thank you so much for speaking with us. For anyone who has any questions, please let us know in the comments. Let us know your thoughts and what else you would like to hear us speaking about. Thank you again, Dr. Ivan, for joining us today.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Got a little lost.
Very good.
Yeah, really?
It was very good.
Nice.
Every single week, my dogs are shitting and vomiting.
That's
Like my husband,
Because
he doesn't listen to me either. I'm like, don't give them that.
I'm hearing that every day.
I didn't give anything. I was like,
When we speak about these best brands, it doesn't mean that there are no brands that are also decent and good quality food. But we don't know that. You understand? You need to use something particularly for a very long time as a clinical trial, as professional dealing with that, for us to have feedback. So when they ask me about, hey, what do you think about this brand? I
Yeah,
never
could be
heard
good,
about
could
that
be
brand.
not, I don't
Who
know.
is using
Yeah.
it? What is the feedback? We don't know. But these brands, because they are medicated diet brands, and we are using for 30 years, and I exactly know what to expect from. If you get strict with it, if you follow recommendations, I know exactly that it will work and how it will work and how much.
so many people are saying like this dry food and heels or whatever, it's so bad. It's very
Theory
it's killing your pet. You know, this kind of
Critical
cycles.
theory of conspiracy, how you call it exactly? What is it? Conspiracy theories.
theories,
So
yeah.
they believe that behind these big mega businesses there is always someone who wants to trick them, and then they start getting populated this wet food, grain-free food because it's a human trend. Ridiculous things like that.
It's so strange, you know.
If they didn't have reaction on it, that's fine. That's it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it causes reaction. Yesterday I have a case that we have urinary bladder stones that we suspected, we didn't confirm, but because of the liver problems, that they are liver-related stones called urates, and trying before surgery, we put on the particular diet for those urate stones. And again, I explained like always, only this food, water, because it's a specific protein-related metabolism by the liver, and the follow-ups after we introduce the food, stones start getting melted.
Yeah, my cat.
So I followed that.
No way.
Yeah, but these are specific stones. for the
Ah,
liver
that's really-
failure.
yeah.
So, and being strict on that food, stones get melted, and we are following them ultrasound, and I see that they are less in the numbers, smaller in size. 3 months later, dog is peeing blood again, came back, I checked, more stones, bigger stones. And I'm, okay, this is confusing, so is she still on the same diet? Yes. But only that. I said, okay, maybe then we didn't get the stone, but I have confirmation that we did the right diet for the right stone because they start
Yeah.
melting, now they flare up again. Then she, eventually when the boyfriend went out, said, giving her everything, chicken, cheese, lately, this and this. He thinks it's bullshit, he doesn't work. I said,